You're not going to believe this, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I sit down on this bench. I get up, I start walking. I was like, yeah, you got to take care of yourself, James. You know. And I was like, I looked and I saw another bench. It's like a swing bench. Look at it. Okay? Now, my whole day has been the epiphany about Moses. And I talked to this guy named Joshua at a synagogue. And there's a whole process of vetting someone here. But anyway. So I look and I see this like roll up piece of paper. Like, oh, what could that be? You know, and I'm feeling down. And I really I think I was too hard on Joshua because it must be so tough to be Jewish. It sucks. Like, they have security there. They get death threats. They call, you know, and all they want to do is like, the only thing that they wanted to do is preserve Moses, the original rabbi, the guy who got the preserve his message. And look at this. So I sit down and here's what I see. It's a scroll. I undo it and this is exactly what I see. This is God here, okay? Joshua. It's a religious thing. Look, it says Joshua. And then it says, after the death of Moses. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's the whole fucking point of this. Now, why would that be here? Now, of course, you'd be like, oh, well, someone dropped it. But it's God. God's like, he knows exactly what I'm going to do, how I'm going to be feeling at a certain point in time. And he knows that he can just fucking do this stuff. He's figured it out. He's much smarter than you and me and everyone. He's God. He's a genius. It's not hard for him to just put one little pamphlet right where he knows that James is going to sit the day of the whole Moses thing. It's so simple. And you're like, well, that's impossible because you're not God and I'm not God. We don't know how he does it. I have no clue what events led up to this. But it's exactly what it's a signal from him. What are the odds that you sit down and there's a thing about it said the first 5 words, after the death of Moses. And then the next few words say, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua. That's who I met this morning, and my whole thesis is Moses. It's so simple. You guys are going to look back at this one day and be like, oh my, I can't believe what he did, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to keep posting these fucking videos, and I'm going to nail it. And when I nail it, it's on. And those poor Jews, like, they just wanted to preserve Moses, and Moses proves that we can live forever. One more thing I thought of. You know, Moses, over 40 years, how many steps do you take in the desert when you're trying to find Israel? I don't know, millions, billions, trillions, I don't know how many. How come he called his death on the final step? The final step is when he died. That last step, and then he stands, looks, and dies. Imagine the steps leading up to that in his mind. He's like, this is it. Someone's ahead of him. He's like, we see it. This looks like the place. He's like, this is it. I'm going to die here. Take my steps. I'm going to look at it one time, and I'm going to die. Notice how he looked at it first, and then he died. He took it in. He took the time to look at it, which means that he didn't alter or move his body at all while he looked. And unless looking or turning his head once or twice is lethal, it was his mind. Now, what if there was one more step? Could he have made that? Yes. And another one? Yes. Could he made another billion? Yes. He made 40 years worth of steps. It's God's way of saying this is not a coincidence. God's like screaming it. Guys, I'm here. This dude is the real deal. It's awesome. It's incredible what this is, what this will represent for the human species. And, you know, it's going to be awesome. And all the Jews go back to Israel and party. Because Jews have client lists like no other. They got agents, you know, in the Jewish faith. They represent Hollywood, music, whatever. It's going to be the biggest party in the world. And everyone's going to be like, oh, that's how it works. Simple. You just need some dude from the outside. Takes an outsider. Moses.